What comes to your mind when you think of Western? It could be the gardens, the walkways, the wonderful towers here, but mostly for me, it's the expertise, the friendliness, and the talent of the fantastic staff that we have here. Western's reputation, it's made by its fantastic people, and Eugen Porter, he's one of those people. When you first start electrical and computer engineering at Western, it's usually about a week before you first hear the name Eugen Porter. Usually it's associated with the solution to a fairly complex design problem, or it could be you just see the initials EP on one of the pieces of lab equipment that you use. Eugen is a technical specialist in the shop where he spends his days designing different devices for professors, graduate and undergraduate students, usually based on a napkin sketch and a few hand gestures. His designs are known for being innovative and pushing the limits, sometimes doing things that just don't seem possible. During evenings and weekends, and occasionally into the wee hours of the morning, Eugen acts as an advisor and an active member to the 2 robotics clubs that he founded on campus. The first being WeBots, which is the only robotics design and construction club on campus that allows for Western staff, students, and faculties to come together, share their knowledge and skills despite different levels of experience. The other club, WeFirst, which was launched this year, is a mentorship club for high school students who are starting to build their own first robotics projects, which gives them access to tools and skills that they may not be able to get through other means. Throughout all this work that Eugen does, the best example of his excellence is displayed yearly at the first WeBots meeting of the year. I've been through the meeting myself 3 times, twice as a member of the club executive and once as a nervous first year wondering what he just wandered into. Once the formalities of club structure and schedule and all that fun is out of the way, the discussion starts to flip towards projects that the club's been working on either in the past or has been planning to do in the future, with the new members just pounding out questions and the returning ones trying to answer as fast as they can. Without fail, one of the returning members will mention what a servo is without forgetting to define what the word actually means. As a first year, after hearing the term 5 or 6 times, I was fairly curious as to what it actually was, but I didn't want to reveal quite my level of ignorance as to how little I knew about the robots. Luckily, someone else beat me to the punch and started to ask Eugen. And I listened as Eugen politely and thoroughly explained what it was to the people in the room. Once the new members saw his pleasant and kind manner and how he politely respected them despite the simplicity of their questions, answered them quite thoroughly, the questions began to pour out from all parts of the room. As for the next few hours, Eugen stayed behind after the club meeting and answered questions from students, relieving us of our ignorance and helping us move closer to building our own robotics projects. The scene isn't an isolated incident. It's repeated every time someone new meets Eugen and asks him their first question. He's become the go-to person in the faculty for everything from a backwards diode to a wind tunnel control system. His work in the electronics shop keeps the faculty electrically running smoothly while pushing the boundaries of what can be done in the hardware with his design. The time that he puts into the clubs has helped launch many young robotics careers to directions and places they could have never reached without him. Eugen, thank you very much from all the staff at engineering for the cheerful and pleasant to work with and saving us from electronic chaos. Thank you from the students of engineering for always being there to help when a project stops working or just never started in the first place. Thank you from the members of WeBots, WeFirst, and the high school students you've mentored for the long hours you put in helping us to reach new heights both as groups and individuals. And thank you from myself personally for helping me build my first robot and putting me on a path that I do not doubt without you I could have never been able to thank you. Eugen, you're an inspiration to everyone who gets the opportunity to meet you. Thank you once again for all you do.
Bad at speeches, so. I would like to congratulate all my fellow recipients of this award. It's a great honor. A couple of weeks back, Monday morning, I come walking in, and I had a whole group of students come up to me and tell me that I had just won, or they had nominated me, and I just won the Award of Excellence. The only feeling I could think of at the time, and it still is now, is that I was dumbfounded. Truthfully, I never even really was aware of the award, so it was actually a couple hours later that I actually figured out what the award was and what I had won. And I was still dumbfounded for being nominated, let alone winning. Sorry, I'm just. So I'd like to thank a number of people that I guess if they weren't here to help me, I probably wouldn't be up here right now. First, my loving wife and my best friend Nancy. She's been with me for 28 years. Very understanding, very, very patient. And I know it's not easy being a robot widow, but At least you're not a hockey widow or a football widow, so that kind of helps out. My two wonderful children, Robin and Raven, for just being great kids. I'd like to thank the Faculty of Engineering, Dean Reinmack, Leslie Mountaineer, and Sue Chapman for their support and encouragement. The electrical department, both Dr. Sadu and Dr. Premack for backing and letting both clubs use mechatronics and the communications lab for night meetings and so forth, because the small room we have that's down in the CMLP is a very small room and we can't get 50 students in a 2-desk room. Dr. Naish, Dr. McIsaac, and Dr. Samarabandu for agreeing to be faculty advisors for the clubs. I'd like to thank my present supervisor, Melissa Harris, and my former supervisor, Garrett Artson, for the assistance they have given me. I'd also like to thank Trent, Ken Strong, Ron Stroop, the guys I work with in the best electronic shop on campus, probably the best electronic shop in London. Ludmil for his help, and the award committee for selecting me, or at least selecting 6 very people who deserve it and one that I'm not sure about. And finally, I'd like to thank the students. The students and the members of both WeBots and WeFirst clubs, especially my nominators, Peter, Jeff, Adam, Justin, Aaron, and Anish. I wouldn't be running the club if it wasn't for the great students we have. They come with very eager to learn more than their required curriculum, and it's an honor, and I'm very humbled that they choose to use their precious and limited time to come to the robot clubs for the last 7 years. I truly believe that we are kind of on the cusp of the new robot age, that like back in the early 80s when computers just started coming in, they were in government and in industry. Some of them were just starting to come into the homes, but weren't really there yet. But move forward 30 years and we've now got computers in cars, or toasters, we're using them as cue cards. And I think we're going to be, this is where we are with the robots right now. Right now, we're back in the early 80s. Go forward 30 years, we're going to have, I don't know where the robots are going to be, but they're going to be helping us out in many, many ways. And I'm hoping that some of the bright minds that I help out when we're doing this stuff become the next Bill Gates of the robot age. And hopefully they will remember Western and either adopt me or at least support WeBots and WeFirst. Thank you.